I was wondering why Illinois and Arizona in particular. Would it be because those are the only ones that we are aware of and other places may also have been attacked, or perhaps their systems were more vulnerable?
Yeah, if you have a computer and it's connected to the Internet, then people out there are going to do port scanning and other ways to find whether you've got some vulnerability. And first, they find all the vulnerabilities they can in whatever systems they can, and then they start looking at what are these systems I found vulnerabilities in. So I guess my suspicion is it's sort of random. Those happen to be the two states that had systems connected that had these particular vulnerabilities.
You've been warning about these kinds of problems for years. Have your warnings been largely ignored or dismissed?
No, actually, I think there's been a lot of progress. What we warned of almost 15 years ago is that if you have a paperless touchscreen voting machine, the computer program in there claims to record whatever the voters' choices are, but at the end of Election Day when it reports results, whatever it reports is really at the choice of whoever got to install the computer program in there. And what we suggested is that we need to be able to trust our accurate count of the votes, even if the computer might be hacked. And you might wonder how that's even possible. But the best way to do that is to vote on optical scan paper ballots. You fill in the bubble next to the name of your candidate, and that piece of paper gets fed through an optical scan voting machine. And even if that voting machine is hacked, you have a sealed ballot box full of the very pieces of paper that the voters marked, the paper ballots that the voters marked.
That's a system we're using in New York City.
Yeah, New York.
But I used to love the levers. The levers were even felt better because I went into a booth and nobody could see what I was doing. Somebody could look over my shoulder when I'm filling out that paper ballot.
Indeed, the protection of the secret ballot so that nobody can see how you're voting, so you can't be coerced or bribed to vote a certain way. That's very important. And those old lever machines had that curtain that closed. That was great.
I loved them.
But
what was the problem?
What was the problem? Well, I could tell you 3 or 4 ways to make those lever machines cheat. And at the end of the day, you don't have any paper ballots to recount. And I can tell you lots of ways to make electronic voting machines cheat. But now in the state of New York and in about 40 states, when you vote by filling in that bubble on the piece of paper next to your chosen candidate. And that means even if the machine's been hacked, they have paper ballots that they can recount, and they can recount in the presence of witnesses who can look at that paper and see what's on it without any computers telling you, how somebody supposedly voted. And so not only New York, which has done a good job in the last few years of switching to this more trustworthy technology, but lots of other states are now using optical scan paper ballots.